I'm speaking against the party, but I want to make it very clear to Nigerians. I'm not speaking against my party. It's because I love this party so much. It's because I believe that this party means well for Nigerians. Because I believe, as somebody, who left the PDP as at that time to join the ruling party as at today, the APC, as at when we were forming government. We knew, what happened within the PDP. We knew what happened within the PDP. So it is clear today, the former national chairman of the then PDP came up today to tell Nigerians to take a view, to support an earlier position that I made earlier on, to said if we did not resolve our internal crisis, then when the bomb will explode, we will have nothing to tell Nigerians. Because one will be disturbing one to me as a young man.
If I may quickly ask you, Mr. Frank, let me quickly ask you. You know so much about this party. You're a member of the National Working Committee of the party, and you are supposed to be speaking for the party. Do tell us, what are these internal crises so that Nigerians will understand?
Well, yes, this is a very critical question you've asked. And this question is not just to me, but this question goes to my party at the same time. That why is the leadership of my party not allowing me to speak today as the acting spokesperson of the party? It's a very serious question you've asked. And I can tell you clearly, times without number, I've made it very known, to the leadership of my party. This is not something I should be begging the leadership of my party for me to be the acting spokesperson of the party, or neither this is not something that I need to lobby my national chairman and so forth. But that should tell you there is conspiracy within the leadership of the party against my person. And today, if you ask them why are they not allowing me to speak, sometimes some of them will tag it because they believe I'm loyal to the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. Sometimes some of them believe because of my loyalty to the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, and so forth. But it's so obvious that, look, stopping me from becoming the spokesperson of the party does not portray this party very well before Nigerians, because it is very clear by our own party constitution, it is very clear that when the substantive head is not there, then automatically, the deputy takes over.
Mr. Frank,
very clear.
Mr. Frank,
so if we cannot respect that,
what are some of these internal crises so that Nigerians can understand the crisis everybody is talking about now?
No, it is very, very clear again, let me tell you. These are things we should have resolved earlier on. There are issues that has been bothering a lot of party members. But I can tell you clearly today, we can run away from the truth, but we cannot hide the truth for too long. I can tell you that very clearly. Whether my leadership, my national leadership likes it or not. Recently I made a comment, while I made it very clear to Nigerians before Baraje came up today to support whatever I've said in the past. And you can see even so many persons today, somebody like Shehu Sani has been speaking and so forth. But the problem that is rocking my party today, we must accept the truth. To somebody like me, because I love this party so much, I believe I don't want this party to sink the way the PDP sink. I want this party to succeed. I love this party, and the only way we can tell ourselves the truth.
What are the crises, if I may quickly ask? The crises that we're talking about.
To acknowledge. Yes,
specifically.
Let me take you back. Let me take you back. There is crisis. Let me take you back. First of all, today you can see even at the state level, we have so many issues that is rocking, the party. In various states, that as a party, I believe at the center, we should be able, to harmonize all these issues. I can give you a few number of states today where we have issues. For example, including my own state, Bayelsa State. There is crisis in the party in Bayelsa. You can see the former governor of Bayelsa State, was suspended by the state. Up till now, the national leadership of the party has not been able to put the state together to know what is happening.
What about the national organ of the party? What about the crisis in the national organ of the party, which some people have talked about? Specifically, you've talked about some of your problems with some members of the leadership of the party. In specific terms, can you tell us what do you think is a major problem of the party as we speak?
So far as I'm concerned, the major crisis today in this party, until we acknowledge that we have issues within ourselves, until we acknowledge, we cannot run away from the truth. I can tell you clearly today, okay, if there is no crisis in the party,
all right,
my boss, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was the publicity secretary of the party. By the grace of God, he was uplifted to be a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What I expected as at that time was to get a pronouncement from my leadership,
all right,
automatically to announce me as the acting spokesperson of the party.
Okay, for a moment.
Until today, that has not been done.
Okay,
and,
just a moment, Mr. Frank. Let me bring in Mr. Kati.
Let me take you back. Listen to me. And we still have issues. Listen to me. And we still have some other issues again. For example, you can see, including in the National Assembly, in the Senate, particularly today in the Senate, you can see clearly we have two fractions in the Senate within the APC. Okay. People call the other fraction the Ahmed Lawan group. Then you have the Saraki group. Again, if the leadership at the center, at the party center today, if we cannot call this both person, the question I want to ask today, as a party, I believe, if there is crisis within, two members of the party, I expected the role of the national leadership of the party is to identify what is the cause, what is the root of these issues.
All right.
Then
so,
Mr.
Frank, just a moment. Just a moment.
My national leadership has not been able to neither call the Saraki group.
All right. Just a moment. I'll come back to you in the next few minutes. Let me bring in Mr. Curtis Adigba. He's a lawyer and a policy analyst. He joins me here in the studio. When we wonder, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
When we wonder, that is barely a year that the APC got into power and they're experiencing these internal misgivings. There are a lot of misgivings, internal wranglings in the party. What do you think could have caused this?
Well, first of all, let me say internal crises of political parties are not new. All right? Political parties, as a matter of fact, used to have crises. Now, once one group disagrees with the other on any issue, on one or any other issue, where you find is they declare that there's crisis. But I'm surprised because what I've heard Timmy Frank saying so far is like saying because he was not allowed to assume the position of Lai Mohammed automatically, is the reason why we have crisis in the APC.
Is that not is that a rightful? I think that's a just thing to do when you have a vacuum and you have a deputy. No, shouldn't the deputy be? I'm just asking it.
No, and look, but let's
administratively.
Let me make a point.
Isn't that a clear thing to do?
I think there is a saying that says, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. I think that whether it is the structure of the political party known as the APC or the representatives of the people in the National Assembly, they ought to know that this is not essentially about them. It is about the Nigerian people. Look, it's so unfortunate that the Nigerian politician has made himself the bride in every wedding and the corpse in every funeral, leaving out the people that is at the core of democracy. Look, this crisis is not about the welfare of the people. It is not even about how we come together to ensure that the change we promise the Nigerian people is brought to bear.
Okay.
It is simply about whether he's been allowed to assume his position. It's simply about whether certain people must remain in the position they occupy in spite of the fact that the law is calling them to account.
Okay.
I think this is very, very sad.
Okay, let's take a moment, and when we return more into this issue, what should the party be doing to avoid the implosion warned against? Well, join us again as we discuss more on this.